Are you ready to become a leader and change maker by getting your PhD? Ready to stop stressing and actually take action so you create offer letters instead of rejections? Then this is the spot for you. I'm Dr. Natalie Morse, and I'm here to help you get into your dream PhD with full funding. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Natalie Morse, and welcome to the podcast. Today, I'm going to dive into something that I see a lot on the internet, which is, I quit my PhD. The PhD is horrible. Academia is toxic. I had a terrible time in my PhD. It was the worst time of my life. That kind of stuff, okay? Why I think it's important to cover is because it will keep people from doing things that they are passionate about because of this fear that it could be bad. The funny thing is, these types of conversations are being said about every field. They're being said about law, medicine, tech, politics, obviously, everything. But when we are in one space, right, the algorithm is targeting you. It's not showing you the I quit my law degree video because that's not what you're interested in. So then it starts feeling like, oh my gosh, everybody thinks this is terrible. And the other very common thing to talk about here is clicks and likes and views, and those are rewarded based on highly charged emotions. So if you're very angry, or if you're very curious about something, if you're very excited about something, if there's a lot of curiosity about something, we're going to click and want to learn more. So these things, because they're often shown with a person sobbing or like very distraught, right? So it has this huge emotional charge to us that draws us in and makes us watch it. I'm going to dissect a recent video because I was on my YouTube channel uploading my little videos and this targeted came at me. I quit my PhD. Let me share it with you and break it down. Okay, you may not be able to see this if you're listening to the podcast, but I'm going to describe the thumbnail that was shown to me. So it's a girl looking kind of sad, and it says, "Don't do it, big mistake." And the title of the video is, "I quit my PhD, why you shouldn't do it." Wow, very dramatic, right? Oh my gosh, what happened? Was she like run over by a car? Was her advisor a terrible, horrible human and was like so mean to her? What the hell happened, right? So I'm going to click. So let me share.
Hey, this video is not going to be easy to film.
She talks about being emotional. And then this is her backstory of how she got into her PhD. And I think it'll set the stage for what happened.
Story about how I ended up in this position. Basically, after my master, I was doing a research internship where I was doing research on fundamental physics, similar to what I done in my thesis. And I really enjoyed that. And maybe there was some miscommunication, but probably I was just being delusional because I was telling myself that, I can just continue at this university and do my PhD in this topic. But then when this internship came to an end, they told me that, no, we actually don't have funding for an entire PhD, so you need to find a position on your own. And I freaked out. I only had a few months to find a PhD to start in September. So I made a lot of applications and I also got a few offers from Germany, from the Netherlands, etc. And at that point in time, I was very lost in my research. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for the PhD. So I considered all those different options. And the topic that I ended up choosing was not something that I considered working on before, but I felt that, okay, I need to stop being so narrow-minded in what I do, and I should give this field a shot because it's a very hot topic right now. So it could be a good career choice for me to do this PhD. So the topic was in observational astronomy, and I think that people who come from a kind of observational astronomy background and people who come from a physics background are very different people most of the time. The way of working is very different. The methods are very different.
Okay, so right away, we are seeing that she was rushed. She had a few months to get all this together, and her brain was not really thinking clearly. And she was also like, hey, what if I try this completely different topic? Not completely different, adjacent, but something that she had never done before. And hey, it's hot. I hope it'll work. And then she basically gets in there and doesn't like it. That's the story. She just doesn't like the work and how they're doing things. Because it's not just the type of, right? Everyone can say, oh, I want to study brain development. But there are many different ways to study brain development. So the methods, the how that you're going to be doing day to day matter. Because some people like certain things, like if you like computer modeling, you don't want to be doing in-person survey studies and vice versa. So it's good to think about that. It's okay to stretch and grow and get new experiences, and you will absolutely do that through your PhD. But to think about generally what kind of stuff do you want to be doing is really critical. So this was a problem that she herself knew she created and that continued to compound.
I guess I felt very quickly that this is not a good fit for me and this is not what I want to do or how I want to do science. I didn't want to be in the situation where I had to quit my PhD. So I think I just forced myself to try and enjoy this topic that I wasn't super interested in, just very difficult. Then alongside that, I also developed my own interest for machine learning and how it can be applied in astrophysics. And that is something that I'm very passionate about. And that is what I've been making my videos evolving around. The problem is that the work requirements for my PhD were very strict. So I was not allowed to change my research direction into physics and machine learning.
This is the other problem. What she was trying to do was not very flexible where she was. So when you are interviewing these programs and determining if you A, even want to apply, and then B, once you get offers, if you even want to accept, you need to ask these types of questions. What is the type of work I'll be doing? What are the options for growing, evolving new projects, things like that? And it will be pretty clear to you if there are options or if you're locked in. And so this person was locked in because of a grant. What they could have done is written another grant, gotten other opportunities for funding, but that takes time. It wasn't going to start today. So she would have had to finish this out or something like that. And she didn't like this work. So she was not going to spend the next 3 years doing this. And so she quit, which is totally normal. Makes perfect sense to quit something when you're not into it. It's not a problem. What's so interesting to me is if you go on why you shouldn't do a PhD, and then if you go down to the end, it says, would I recommend anyone do a PhD? Let's hear it.
Now, I'm sure you're all very curious. Do I have any regrets? Would I still recommend someone else to do a PhD? And the answer is, I absolutely would. Even if this time has been very hard and I've gone through a lot of things, I still don't regret the choice that I made. As I mentioned, I found research that I'm very passionate about that I want to continue doing, and I learned so much. There were a lot of hard life lessons, but I'm happy to have learned them. And I still really enjoyed the nice parts I got to experience of research, and I want to continue that part. So I would still recommend other people to do a PhD, and I hope this video doesn't scare anyone.
Insane to me that she does this. So she's like, yeah, I would totally recommend other people to do a PhD. I hope this video doesn't scare anyone. Literally her title, I quit my PhD, why you shouldn't do a PhD. This just reminds me, YouTube is an entertainment platform. It is an entertainment platform for a reason, to get you involved, to sell advertising. We all know this. We know this logically, but we're humans and our brain is not super evolved. And so when we are exposed to things, we take them for what they are. We take them as, this person's trying to help me. No, this person is trying to be entertaining and get clicks and views so they can get advertising dollars, which is great. I love creators. I love people creating things and getting alternative ways to support themselves. Makes perfect sense. However, this is a very misleading title, and most people don't watch all the way to the end because we have short attention spans. I think this is very indicative of a lot of the information out there. There are psychological mechanisms for why negative information is stored more deeply and more impactful, and why that is an issue here, right? Because it influences your decision, influences your actions, and then influences your ability to create results. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, well, hey, it wasn't going to work, and then it didn't work. And then you're like, I told you so, because you didn't take the steps and the actions you needed to make it happen. Well, let me share these cognitive biases. The negativity bias is that negative information is stored more deeply and basically raises alarm bells in our brains. It says, this is important, right? Like, don't eat those berries, you might die. So our brains, better hear that negative information. And with all of the social media or just your mom's friend telling you that your PhD is a terrible idea, it is going to stick in there a lot longer than me or 10 other people telling you that you're going to be amazing at this and you're going to just kill it. Think about that. So you do need to surround yourself with positive people who are doing big, amazing things, because it's Psych 101. That will help you do big and amazing things. So right here, this is a very old article from 1998. There's tons of research on this negativity bias. It's really real, and to be aware of that. The other issue is that this is another old article, but basically talking about the social dimensions of sharing negative information and how that person who shares that looks smarter, has more clout, and that also is a problem, right? If I want to say, oh, I think the economy is going to do great next quarter, I look dumb. I look optimistic and rose-colored glasses, and I look dumb. If I say, I think the economy is going to tank because we know that the people are going to stop buying houses because price of wood has gone up, I look smart. I look like, oh, look, I know some information that you don't know, and I can share it and make you afraid to do things. And then whatever happens in the future doesn't really matter because I already got the clicks and the likes and the stories that I needed. Doesn't matter if I'm right. The other thing I think is important to hit on is you'll see articles or videos, clickbait, about how toxic this is, or academia is toxic, or this was so terrible. I have a few thoughts on this. Sorry, they're going to be unfiltered. Number one is there are toxic environments everywhere. Sorry, I've been in corporate America, I've been in startups, I've been in different environments. I don't think I had a terrible experience anywhere, to be honest, but no experience was like the best experience. So I do understand that there are truly negative environments, negative people, places that you should not be, and you can move out of those places. But I think the majority of these places, we have a profound ability to impact our own reality. So here's an example. I did my PhD and there were about 15 of us in my group doing PhDs, so a very large group. We all had very different experiences, like a bell curve. Most people had a pretty good experience. Some people had a pretty bad experience. Some people had an amazing experience. I was on the amazing side. But again, that's my own subjective brain. I could have equally had those exact same experiences and told myself it was a negative experience if I wanted to. And we all had different projects, different things happening in our lives. I'm not saying that all of that is within our control by any means, but I do think we have a large opportunity to influence the spaces that we go in, especially the PhD, because you are driving your projects. There's not a lot of handholding. People will let you do things up to you, right? That's a double-edged sword. Some people don't like that. They're perfectionists. They like being told exactly what to do. And if you do these 10 steps, you'll get an A+ and you'll be done. The PhD isn't like that. It's super open-ended, and that's very scary to people. Why do you think most people don't do this? Because uncertainty is scary. It's so freaking scary. We would rather stay in a terrible situation, like the old adage, you'd rather stay somewhere where your arm is broken than to potentially have to walk a mile to maybe get it fixed, but maybe you break your leg on that walk and now you're in a worse situation. We would rather stay somewhere that is painful and terrible, we don't like, than the uncertainty of something maybe being better, but maybe being worse. And that's the PhD the whole time, right? We don't know if things are going to work out. Experiments might fail. Projects might get shut down. Your PI may leave, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? That would happen in corporate America too. Projects get shut down in corporate America. Bosses get fired. Bosses leave. You might get sick. This stuff is going to happen no matter where you are, I promise you. But your ability to navigate that, to lead, to have this radical self-reliance and ability to know that you are capable is going to create amazing results no matter where you are. Fortunately, there are resources in the PhD space to help you. I know there's a power imbalance between the advisor and the student. I know that 100%. There are still resources, right? There are still groups. There are still avenues to have discussions. They're not comfortable discussions. If you are having issues and struggles and whatever, same with your boss. If you're in corporate America having a hard time with your boss, those are hard discussions as well. Hard discussions are everywhere, but you have to have them. So I think a lot of times when we talk about places being toxic, which they can be, we don't always look at ourselves. We don't always say, what can I do? And you've got options. You can leave, you can try to fix it, or you can just put your head down and do whatever you need to do to get done. Those are options for you. And I want you to know that you have a lot more autonomy throughout this process than the internet would let you think. I promise you that. And I promise you that a PhD is largely just like a job. So there are going to be ups and downs. But it's honestly pretty awesome. You have so much flexibility, so much autonomy to do what you want, to push your ideas. If you take advantage of it, it's insane. So I hope my windy road down the crazy clickbait of I quit my PhD and academia is toxic. I hope this was helpful to remind you that these are not all the experiences at all. These are the most click-worthy experiences that might get served to you by all of our algorithms. But I want you to remember that you know what you're doing. You know what you want. Go get it, because these people who will tell you not to do something, I just want to see the proof. I want to see where they're at. You know, if they're killing it, loving life, and you want to do that path, go to that path, right? Go be a YouTube star. If they are not killing it, if they are struggling or doing something, I would say don't follow them, right? Rule number one, if people have the thing you want, let's ask for advice. If people don't, we don't really care about their opinion. It's just that easy. I want you to go and get everything that you desire for yourself because it's 100% possible. And don't worry about what the internet says.